Hello, my fourth grade mathematicians. Happy Tuesday, or happy day 2 of week 3. I wanted to start off today's lesson with the thoughts of, do I add or do I subtract? Okay, we're going to be looking back on page 301. We're going to be looking at problem number 1. And we notice that the problem is 397 minus 139. But one of the starter problems was 397 minus 140. And so I just wanted to talk about that of what do I do next, okay? So I see that we have 397 minus 140, and most of you can solve this problem right in your head mentally. I'll give you a moment. Solve it in your head. If you said the answer was 257, nice job. Nice job. But then what do I do after that? Because the problem was minus 139, and I am minusing 140. So if my answer there is 257, what do I do next? Do I need to add, or do I need to subtract 1? Because we know to get from 139 to 140, that's just one more number. So now that I have the answer of 257, and I'm telling you that can't be the final answer, do I add 1 to 257 or do I subtract 1 from 257? Let you think about it. All right, if you said, well, I've got to subtract another 1, thumbs up. If you said, no, I've got to add back in a 1, thumbs up. Those of you who said, I've got to add back in another 1, way to go. That's exactly right. Because what you did up here with 140 was you subtracted 1 more than what you needed to so that you could get to a friendly number. Okay? But if you subtracted that 1 more, you then have to go back in here and add it back to it. And when you add it back to it, plus 1, then that gives you the answer of 258. Now, this is a great strategy. This is a wonderful strategy. And, you know, I didn't really learn this strategy until I had been teaching for a few years. And I wish I'd known this when I was younger, when I was your age. Because when we start getting into like a 4-digit number that has a bunch of zeros at the top, and we have to subtract a number on the bottom that is bigger than the zeros, I wish somebody would have taught me this strategy. And I'll teach that to you. It's coming up, okay? Not today, but it's coming up. All right, so I want you to think about what could be a story problem, a word problem, that we could use that would make us solve the problem this way, but then add back in that 1 at the end. Okay? I'm going to give you a moment. We're going to pause, grab you a piece of paper and a pencil, and I want you, or you can do it on that workbook page, I want you to write for me a story problem to where you have to subtract that 1 more than needed and then add it back in at the end. All right, I'll be right back. We're back. So I gave you some time to go and try to create a story problem to solve this problem, okay? Now, I can't wait to hear what you have. Please send that to me on our Class Dojo or send me an email through Canvas because I'd love to know what you wrote. So here's an example of one I thought was actually pretty interesting. I'd never thought of it this way. Here we go. So they used it as money, and they said they had $397, and they owed someone $139. So they gave them, though, $140. And so now what they had left was $257. But I gave them 1 more. I gave them 1 more than what they really owed. Remember, they gave them $140 instead of $139. Maybe they didn't have change. And so now that person would have to give them back that dollar. So then in their pocket, they would have the $258. It's a really neat and clever way of thinking about it. I'd never thought of it that way, but we do that all the time with money. We give them a little bit too much because maybe we don't have the exact change, and then they have to give it back to us. Your parents do it all the time at the store, okay? All right, so my question to you is, do you think this strategy of taking it to a friendly number, do you think it would work with other numbers? Let's see. Let's try one and see if it works. Okay? So I'm going to give us the problem of, let's see, 456 minus 247. Okay? And I am going to round up, estimate, the 247, and I'm going to round that up to 250. So I'm going to be subtracting 456 minus 250, because that's a little bit easier for me to do. Got my 5s and the 10s place. It's just easier for me to do. And so when I subtract 456 minus 250, that gives me the answer of 206. Now, wait a minute. That's not the final answer. What did I do here to get it to a friendly number? Did I subtract some, or did I add some to get it to a friendly number? We started at 247, and I went up to 250. So I had to add in 3 more, but in reality, I subtracted 3 more than I needed to. Okay, because 247 to 250 is 248, 249, 250. So I subtracted 3 more than I needed to. So what do I do to get the final answer here? Do I subtract 3 more? So 206 minus 3 more? Or do I add those 3 back in? If you said add, nice job. So now you're going to say 206 plus the 3 that I subtracted, the 3 additional that I subtracted to begin with. I'm going to add it back in, and that gives me the answer of 209. So does it work for other numbers? Yeah. Can we only subtract 1, or could we subtract or add as much as we need to get it to a friendly number that makes sense to us? Yeah, we can do as many as we need to as long as we keep up with it at the very end. Okay, you never want to forget, if you have subtracted more, then at the end, add it back in. Okay, so that is something very important to think about. All right, now today, what you're going to be working on after you watch this video, you've got 3 videos in Savvas that you're going to open up. It's talking about that U.S. standard algorithm for subtraction. And then you're going to be, in your workbook, working on pages 305, 306, and then on page 307, which is where you're going to get to practice the U.S. standard algorithm for subtraction. After you finish that page, you're going to take a picture and send it to me on Class Dojo. If you want some extra practice, this is a totally can-do optional assignment, but you can work on page 308 in your workbook. And then you have a quiz, okay? It's assessment quiz number 2. And once you finish it, and I have included a paper copy, this one's not going to be on Canvas. After you finish it, you're going to take a pictures of it. I believe it's 2 pages long. You're going to take a picture of it, and then you're going to send me those 2 pages. Don't forget both pages. You're going to send that to me through Canvas, or you can turn it in at the end of the week. Okay? All right, if you have any questions on today's assignment, you know how to reach me, Class Dojo, Canvas, email, phone call, whatever, and we can do a one-on-one Google Meet so that we can talk about your problems. All right, I'll talk to you later, but for now, see you later.